Ta-da! Today I was craving something really specific, so we are gonna make pan-fried pork buns. In Chinese it's called Sheng Jian Bao, and this is something that I learned to do over quarantine. I never made it from scratch before. I've always had it at restaurants. It's one of my favorite things to eat, so it was really exciting to learn it and then finally understand that it's actually super easy to make. So let's get to it. The skin or the pea is like basically flour and water and a lot of kneading. I was able to make a lot of different things with it. You can make dumpling skins, you can make the bao skin, and I make scallion pancakes with it. It's kind of just like a little variation on the same thing, and I'm always wondering how our ancestors thought about flour and water, and we're just like, yeah, it's gonna make a dough. I don't freaking understand that. Important tools: a big mixing bowl and chopsticks. So to start off the dough, we're going to need all-purpose flour and boiling hot water, and it has to be boiling. That's the secret, honestly. So first we're going to start off by scooping some flour. We're using all-purpose flour here, and I usually scoop into it and then level it out with the back side of a knife. Then you're gonna need about a cup of boiling hot water. This is where eyeballing comes into place. You basically start to drizzle it into the flour and start combining it with the chopsticks. As you keep drizzling and mixing, you'll notice that a dough will start to form. It looks kind of shaggy and piecemeal, but over time it's going to come together really nicely. I'd say by the time I got the dough to the consistency I wanted, it was about 1.5 cups of boiling hot water, if not more. I've been overhydrating my dough recently, but it does make it very smooth and elastic. The only thing that you do have to do is to reincorporate flour when you knead it and then let it rest. Make sure to generously flour any surface that you'll be working the dough onto, because if it is too wet, it definitely will stick. This dough is truly one of the most amazing and easy doughs to make, but you can add salt and oil if you wish. I added vegetable oil here just to give it some elasticity and some smoothness. Oh my god, it's so cute. It's literally so bouncy and elastic. It's kind of like, I don't know, I love it. You can use the original mixing bowl that you use to make the dough and just spray it with oil so that it won't stick, and then let the dough rest in it. Now we're gonna let this rest for 30 minutes, and then what I like to do is I like to take it out, roll it out, and knead it a little bit more, and then let it rest again if I have the time, but otherwise 30 minutes at room temp does a pretty good job. The filling that I pretty much love the most, and which is quite honestly one of the most classic fillings that you can make, is a combination of ground pork, napa cabbage, scallions, ginger, garlic, and some seasonings. My roommate recently got this amazing new knife, so we've been using it and it's life-changing. I don't know why I haven't invested in a nicer knife earlier. So you're going to chop the napa up into about the same size as you cut the green onions. Next, we're going to add the ground pork and mix everything so it's incorporated evenly. Peep these amazing bread slippers that my mom got me from Taiwan. And then add water. That's something I never realized, but adding water binds the meat a little bit more, and it also gives it moisture, so when it cooks inside the skin of the bun, it still is moist when it comes out. Now we're going to season this pork mix, and we're gonna start with soy sauce, I guess. Honestly, there's no proper order for these things anyway. Again, for me, it's all about eyeballing. I would say per 1 pound of pork, I would do like 1 or 2 tablespoons. My friends and I do like dipping these in vinegar and soy sauce after, so I don't really necessarily find making the original recipe too salty, because you can always add soy sauce after. Next, I'm gonna add sesame oil. I'm pretty generous with this one, but again, I would say it's about like 1 tablespoon. This is really strong flavor as a cooking oil, so I like to be liberal but careful with it. At this point, it smells so good. I wish you guys could smell this through the camera. I know it's raw meat, which is kind of gross, but it smells so good. Oh, the next thing I'm gonna add is white pepper. This is something you can find at most Asian grocery stores or like ethnic grocery stores, and I love it. It's just like a really good staple for your pantry. This is my trusty microplane. I use this for baking a lot, for like lemon and orange rinds, but also for microplaning garlic and ginger so I can get it super finely ground, and it's not like finely chopped chunks or bits, but it really becomes like a paste basically. After the first rest, we're going to take the dough out and knead it some more. Here you can also gauge the texture of it and see if you need to add anything. Right now it's a pretty perfect, elastic, and smooth round, and we're going to knead it just a little bit and then put it straight back to rest for another 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to reflour my surface again and then start rolling and pulling the dough into a snake-like form, which I'm going to cut into little pieces, which will serve as the sizing for my individual wrappers. I am by no means an expert, and every time I make these, I continue to learn. Holding the wrapper in the palm of your hand, add about a tablespoon of the filling into the center. You can use your other hand to fold the edges in clockwise, pinching the edge of the top with your thumb and index finger in a circular motion until the dough is all crimped and the bao is finally sealed. Oh yeah, this one is perfect. After about 5 of these, honestly, you can get the hang of it, and I usually make a whole batch at a time, which ends up being anywhere from like 15 to 20 pieces. Make sure to generously oil your pan. That's something that I tend to forget, but once I do it, I really don't regret it because you do get the crispiest bottoms when that happens. When you start to see some golden brown action on the bottom of your baos, this is when you should start steaming it. You'll know when the baos are done when the skins look semi-translucent. If they're still white looking, that means that they're probably not cooked through. It always is better to steam it a bit longer anyway, since there is raw pork on the inside. As I said earlier, my favorite combination for dipping these baos in is just soy sauce and classic vinegar. Lastly, I'm garnishing with chopped scallions and black and white sesame seeds. Honestly, it looks really good.
Beautiful.
You know what I fucked up though is...
Who's recording it?